advice would you give people struggling with that culture shock?
Embrace it. Sit in it, just live in it, and just respect it, obviously. Yeah, I was the foreign girl, or I was the Hispanic girl, or I was the Hawaiian girl on the team.
What is your ethnicity?
I'm half white, a quarter black, and a quarter Japanese. We have a chip on our shoulder. We have some more grit that they don't necessarily have, that we use to our benefit. And then when we do come in there, it's like, oh wait, these girls can play. Like, they might not have their own arena, but these girls can still play regardless of where they're at.
So you were mixed race and only like a fourth black, but has that ever been used against you?
I wouldn't say against me. Honestly, I don't know. I did all 5 years there, which is kind of rare with the transfer portal and stuff. So clearly I loved it at least a little bit to be there for that long.
Really
but
did. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Echoes of the Yard. I'm your host, Kendyl Terrell, a soccer player at Jackson State University. And this podcast is your source for all things HBCU, from the guests to the topics, the good and the bad. We're here to talk about it all. For the 9th episode, hence my favorite number, I'm joined by Madison Beasley, a volleyball player at Alabama State. Say hello.
Hi. My name is Madison. Happy to be here.
So, yeah, just give me your background. Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, let everybody know who you are.
Okay, so my name is Madison. I am originally from Gilbert, Arizona, so like across the country. I ended up playing volleyball at Alabama State for 5 years, so we did not play my sophomore year because of COVID, so I had my 5th year at the end that I just finished up this past volleyball season. I have 2 younger brothers, trying to get my littlest brother into volleyball, which he's loving so far, which makes my heart happy. Yeah. And then my 2 parents have been supporting me. I've been playing volleyball since I was 10. So countless hours in the gym, like long weekend tournament days, they've been there through it all. I tried dance, I tried soccer, I tried basketball, I tried karate. Like, I did everything and nothing really stuck. And then I tried volleyball when I was 10, started at the Y. And my mom was like, no pressure. If you hate it, don't go. And then I went and I loved it. And that's just been my thing ever since. So
like, when did you realize you like wanted to pursue volleyball in college?
I would say once I hit high school. So Arizona volleyball is pretty big out there. I started playing club when I was 11 or 12, which is pretty regular, stuck with it. I would say once I hit maybe like 15, 16, that's kind of when the drop off happens. So like, you either have to decide, are we going to really like do this and stick with this? Or is this just kind of like an extracurricular thing? My club coaches were super helpful. And that's just kind of when that transition just went from like I said, extracurricular into like, okay, like this is majority of my time and I want to continue this. So I would say freshman, sophomore year of high school for sure.
So tell me about your journey like to Alabama State. Did you always want to go to the HBCU?
I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know Alabama State was HBCU. I didn't know about the SWAC. I didn't know about the MEAC. I knew about it, but I didn't know about, the different schools and what they had to offer. I was just reaching out to coaches as one does in the recruiting process. And I just, send out my film, send out some emails. And then that's when I got in contact with the coaches there. So set up some phone calls. And I just really loved the energy. And Alabama State volleyball makes it known that it is a family and it's a sisterhood. So regardless of what part of the country you're coming from, which for me was really far away. They just made it known, like, yes, you might be away from your family, but we are your family, and whatever you need, like, that we can offer to you. So that really stuck out to me. So, and the fact that it was HBCU, like, that obviously was an added, like, okay, yes, like, I want to be here, and I want to play here, and I want to do this, so.
I love that. So, like, I noticed that you were 2023 SWAC Setter of the Year. Yes. Shout out to you, 2023 All-SWAC First Team. And it's crazy that's the case because I was 2023 Offensive Player of the Year, and I made
Congrats.
First team. So I know how my experience was, like, hearing my name being called. I was just like, there's just no way. Like, I wasn't expecting it or whatever. But, like, how was that experience for you? Like, when you were just sitting at the table and they just announced that you were the SWAC Setter of the Year.
Yeah, there's actually a video, which I'm glad someone got that on video, because like you said, like, I wasn't expecting it. I just was like, I don't know, like, you just never think
Yeah.
regardless of what you do, you just never really expect to be recognized like for all your hard work. So
100%.
when they called my name, I like kind of looked around. I was like, oh, I have to stand up now. Like, oh wait, I have to like go up in
Oh,
front of
that's
everybody. And
yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, like your picture's up on the thing, and like
Yeah.
everyone, all the teams are there, which is like it's crazy to see that many athletes in one room. So it was crazy. I wasn't expecting it. My teammates are like the best people ever. Those are my freaking sisters. So they were all super happy for me. Everyone in the room obviously was, supportive, but it was awesome. And it felt like a good way to kind of close the volleyball chapter in my life and,
Yeah.
just do something that I always aspired to do. So, I mean, it was awesome. It was super awesome.
No, I love that for you. I just remember when they were announcing Offensive Player of the Year, and my name was called. Like just walking up there, nerves were bad. I have
Oh
chill
my
bumps now.
gosh.
Just
No,
remembering that,
literally.
I was looking around. I was like, wait, me? I was
No,
like,
yeah, and it's so different than like you can play in front of people, but to like stand up and like receive
yes,
like a recognition, like I just like am not that person. Like I don't need all of that, and so to be like, okay, like this is literally all about you. I was like,
wrap it up,
okay, yeah. I
wrap it
was like, all right, I
up.
can sit down now. Who's next? Like it was a lot, but it was. I mean, like I said, never forget it. It was amazing, and like I will cherish that forever. So.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree. How would you rate your overall experience at Alabama State as a student? Give me a 1 through 10 just as a student. How would you rate your overall experience?
As a student, I would honestly like give it like a good 8, 9, 10. I mean, obviously like HBCUs, there's so many things that we need or are underfunded or we just don't have access to. So I will say state definitely did what they can with what they had. Um, Obviously like we could have, get some buildings that needed to be fixed or some doors
Yeah,
that needed to be, but I want to say it's an amazing campus. I mean, amazing, amazing people. I think the people definitely make it what it is. The staff are supportive, teachers are supportive. I got really lucky. Like all of my teachers understood that I was an athlete as well as other students. But like being an athlete, like we are on the road and we're at practice and we have a bunch of things that play into like our academic life more than just like going to class and doing homework. Like we have so
yeah,
many other things. So they even to this day, because I'm still finishing up my master's, but they have been so helpful with like, hey, I'm gonna do what I can, but I'm just communicating with you like I'm on the road for 4 days and I'm not gonna be in class and like that
yeah.
type of thing. So yeah, great. And I'm like I said, I did all 5 years there, which is kind of rare with the transfer portal and stuff. So clearly I loved it at least a little bit
Yeah,
to be there
you,
for that
you
long.
really
But
did.
yeah, it was amazing. No, amazing, amazing.
So, how would you rate your overall experience as an athlete?
Oh, 10 out of 10. It's crazy to think that that chapter is closed, but you don't realize like how amazing it is once you're like out of it or nearing the end of it. Definitely took those days for granted, but like waking up at 4 in the morning and going to practice and having double days, triple days, like that type of thing. In the moment, it's like I literally would rather be in bed, but looking back,
Literally. Oh,
and I will do anything, but looking back, like amazing. And just like all the hard work that we put in, it created such a strong bond like with the girls I played with. And like my coaches, I have the greatest bonds with them. Like strength staff, everybody, all the people that go into it, which you don't even think about until you're in it. But like
yeah.
it was amazing. And like same thing as the teachers, like super supportive, whatever we needed, they were there. The fans, we got like a new court. Like it was just, I'm telling you, the best experience ever. Best experience ever.
So, how much did COVID impact your athletic career at Alabama State, do you say?
A lot. And I think in a weird way, it was kind of beneficial. So we didn't play my sophomore year, which we just practiced and was just, stuck with what we had. Weirdly enough, it gave me that extra year for my 5th year, which I was able to play and stay with some of the girls that I got close with. And then I also got hurt my freshman year and was trying to recover from surgery and stuff. And COVID allowed me to one schedule surgery and have like all that time to rehab and get back.
Yeah.
So weirdly, it was like a good
It was a
thing.
blessing in disguise, for
Yes, yes.
sure.
Like I don't know. It was just a good chance for me to like rehab, obviously, and then just try and get better and mentally try and like grow. It's like it obviously sucked in the moment, but I'd say looking back and where I'm at now, it definitely was something good came out of it for sure.
Yeah, so do you think like playing for an HBCU has made college sports easier or hard for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say not hard, kind of similar to like just HBCUs as a whole. Like there's just holes in the system, and there's things that we need that we don't necessarily have access to, or we're not priority when it comes to whatever we need.
Yeah.
I would say going. We saw our coach made it really important for us to go to really like Power Five, really big schools, Power Five schools in preseason.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, someone is banging on the door. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm at work.
No, you're fine.
Oh, oh, sorry. I'm doing an interview. Come on. No, come on. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Here. I heard it and I was like, oh, she's here. I had a feeling you were coming early today too. I'm just in the back though. Sorry. You don't. Okay. Well, I'm in the back if you need me. I should be done soon. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um, Let me just get back to what I was doing. Okay. You said, was it harder or easier? I'll just kind of start over if that's okay.
Yeah. And we can just cut that out and you can
Yes,
just
please. I am so sorry. So,
no,
I would say, like I said, harder in the fact that you just kind of see what we have lacking or what we need to succeed, and we kind of have to make do with what we have.
yeah.
So our coach would always make sure to take us to the big school. So we went to like University of Arizona, we went to Cincinnati, we went to Alabama, Auburn, all these really big places that are PWIs and naturally just have more money and more access. So they have the bigger gyms and the, stuff like that that we don't have.
Yeah.
So I would say harder in the fact of like flashiness, or like they have the media teams and all these
Yeah.
people that are there to support them that we don't have. But I would say easier to the fact of when we would go play these teams, like we kind of have like a little bit of like, we have a chip on our shoulder. We have some more grit that they don't
Yep.
necessarily have, that we use to our benefit. And then when we do come in there, it's like, oh wait, these girls can play. Like they
Yeah.
might not have their own arena, but these girls can still play regardless of where they're at. So I would say a little bit of both. It's just a special experience that you'll never be able to understand until you're in
You
it, which is like
yeah.
there's nothing else I can tell someone about it all I want, but until they're in it and doing the
You
dirty
don't
work,
even get half of
you'll
it.
never get it. They'll never get it. So, yeah.
So you were mixed race and only like a fourth black, but has that ever been used against you?
I wouldn't say against me. Well, honestly, I don't know. So, to my face or from what I've seen, I would say no. Now, granted, like kind of like winning an award and having to go up there, I don't know what everyone was thinking, or I don't know about like if a
Yeah.
weekly award was to come out and my picture was on there. I don't know. Our team is just a mixture of people, so there's a bunch of races. We have just a big mix, obviously, and so I know as a team that we were looked at differently, but I would say for myself, I don't know. I would assume, which kind of it kind of sucks a little bit, but I mean, it's just that's just kind of what it is. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just yeah, it's obviously not to my face, no. I can assume that maybe in the back of someone's head, possibly. But I do think it's helped me as a person, kind of past volleyball and just like relationships and stuff like that, and just having my mind like I have a kind of a different view on things, especially going to HBCU. Like I don't know. It's a very interesting way to think and way to grow up.
So has
Um,
that like impacted your experience at your HBCU?
Not necessarily. I definitely would get questions, or like, not why are you here, but why did you want to come to Alabama, or why did
Yeah.
you want to go to HBCU or something like that? Or even like, are you Hispanic? Are you Samoan? Are you like what, like, what kind is going
Trust,
on?
girl. I get it all the
Yes.
time.
So like I get everything under the sun. Like you'll just never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think, like I said, it's a really interesting place to be. Um, and I don't know, I just think, like I said, I use it to my advantage and just had a super open mind to anyone. And I would always tell any of the athletes like around me or any sport, like, not if you need to talk, but if there's, I mean, like, I get it. Like, I promise, like, I get it. And we're all just trying to be here and do our best. And so that's all really we could do at the end of the day.
Yeah. So was there like an element of a culture shock for you when you first stepped on
Oh, for
campus?
sure. Oh, for sure. I'm from Gilbert, Arizona. There's a cornfield across the street from my high school. All my friends have like farms and like cows and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which isn't, it's not always like that where I'm from, but that's just what's around me. When I first came to Alabama State, I wasn't aware like of Greek life, of just like HBCU culture and like how much of a family it really is. Like even once you leave, um, simply just because I went to HBCU, there's one connections everywhere. There's support everywhere.
Everywhere.
Within the SWAC, support there. And then even smaller, like within state, like support alumni, like alumni always come back. Which when I would go, so I'm from Arizona. So when I would go to like Arizona State games or U of A games, it was just that like family aspect wasn't necessarily there. And like the alumni aspect wasn't there. And granted, their campuses are 4 times the size of ours. So it's like, I don't, I appreciate the smaller campuses and the close knit family because you kind of know everybody on campus. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
that's just HBCU life. And literally just because I went to one and you went to one, like now there's a
Now we're
connection. You know
locked
what I
in.
mean? Yes, exactly. So like, I mean, yeah, it's been great. And that's just, I think going to HBCU was one of the best decisions I could have made for sure.
I agree for sure, 100%. What advice would you give people struggling with that culture shock, like just in general, like going into a big culture shock for them? Like, what advice would you give?
I would give them embrace it, sit in it, just live in it, and just respect it, obviously. It runs way deeper and way beyond, way before us, and it's going to continue way after us. So if you're there and you have the opportunity to experience it, really just embrace it, like I said, and um, yeah, grow from it, learn what you can, be super open-minded. Um, it definitely is going to change you in a positive way, obviously, but your outlook on everything will change. And being like vocal about I mean, anything like that. Like we're just
Yeah.
told like to speak your mind, and if you see something like that type of thing, and you stand
Yeah.
up and you support your HBCU, that's just what you do. So,
I love that.
yeah,
So, would you advise like other minorities or non-black individuals to attend HBCUs?
I would.
So,
Like I said, it,
what do they need to know in advance?
well, you better get ready. So for us at least, you have like the calf it's a moment. Like it's you're not just going to eat, so you better
Yeah.
either be dressed or you better be ready to spend like 3 hours in there.
Yeah.
Greek life, obviously I never crossed, so I'm not Greek, but just like seeing it and seeing like the relationships that creates, events, stuff like that, you better be able to time manage. I can tell you that much. So you better be able to be on your things and on do your homework before you can go to the yard or to whatever is going on, like that type
Yeah.
of thing. And you can't really, which I learned, like I'm a kind of like shy individual. You can't be an introvert at HBC. You can try, and especially like I feel, at least I don't know about your experience, but like I feel like I stuck out like a sore thumb. Like one, you're an athlete, you're a female, which obviously you're athlete female, and you don't look like everybody else. So, in that
Oh,
aspect,
for
like
sure.
you just have to, like I said, embrace it and just like it's so fun and it can be overwhelming, but it's just an experience that you'll never be able to have unless, like I said, unless you go to one. Like there's no other place that compares to an HBCU besides the
An
HBCUs. So,
HBCU. Yeah.
yep.
So like just going back to what you said about sticking out like a sore thumb. I'm
Hmm.
6'2". I have like 20 tattoos. Like
Then there you
I'm
go.
covered from head to toe. So I don't help my situation, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can definitely tell like everybody, oh, that's that girl that plays soccer, the girl with all the
Yes.
tattoos. Like they don't even
Yes.
know me by my name. They know, oh, you're the
No.
girl with the
I
tattoos.
was the foreign girl on the volleyball team till about my junior year. And that was like after season. I was like, guys, like, not that like, it's a problem. Like, I have a name. Like, hey, y'all, I've
Yeah.
been here for 4 years. Like, yeah, I was the foreign girl, or I was the Hispanic girl, or I was the Hawaiian girl on the team, but whatever. But it's just like, it's crazy to just walk in somewhere and just feel like eyes immediately on you, like
So
wherever
I'm
you go.
curious.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
yeah.
What is your ethnicity?
I'm half white, a quarter black, and a quarter Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm just white, Native American and black. So
Amazing, amazing. But it's
yeah,
like a
so it's
really
one
interesting mix. Like people are like, "Oh my gosh, I have no idea." Like and I get asked all the time, like straight, I've never met someone like, "What are you?" Like, can I just like before you even ask my name, you're asking me what I am, which is like crazy.
yeah. What
Um,
are you?
yeah, they're like, I can't, and like my hair's not curly, like it's just like a super interesting mix. And I mean, granted, you can definitely like relate to what I'm saying. It's crazy, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. I had so much fun, so much fun.
No, literally, I love that. Before I get to my last question, is there anything else you want to share about your story or your experience as a student athlete at Alabama State?
Um, Not specifically. I mean, I always tell the girls now. I mean, this is really just for any athlete, but I mean specifically HBCU athletes, specifically Alabama State athletes, like really just embrace the time that you have there. While you're there, it's gonna feel like it's lasting forever, but before you know it, it's over, and you can never
Gone.
go. But yep, you can never go back to it. Um, embrace embrace the culture, embrace the environment, embrace practice the hard stuff, whatever it is. Build connections with your people. One thing I do wish I would have done sooner is like connect with other HBCU or like student athletes or just even individuals in that realm for
Yeah.
like post grad work or like outside of sports things. Because you have all the tools right there in front of you. You have all the connections. Like I said earlier, like just because I went to HBCU, I have like or like I have like first dibs on something simply just because I went there or because I know someone or I played under this person, that type of thing. So like use that edge and use it soon, use it early. Um, and then always give back to the sport that like created you and that gave you everything you had, whether that be coaching or whether that be, and in some aspect, give back to that sport because that sport basically made
Yeah.
you who you are today. And then give back to your HBCU and support HBCUs and stand up for them. And regardless of what
Yes.
school it is, like be there and be a voice and be someone that like little girls can look up to. I always think about that. Like if I was a little, I want to be the girl that a little girl sees in the store and is like, oh my God, I want to be like her. Or when I play, like, okay, like I want to play like her. Like, because I
Yeah.
remember when I was little, I always used to look at those girls. So it's a really, really special place to be that not a lot of people are able to be in the position that you and I were in or are in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, use it. Especially, I just could talk about freaking HBCUs forever and just everything that they've given me and they've taught me. And Alabama State was a great place, and I'm so glad I did my time there. So,
Yeah, I love that you said that because I'm going into my fifth year and
okay,
this will be my third year at Jackson State.
okay,
And just like just hearing you like talk about your HBCU and just knowing that your time has come to an end and like me going into my last year, it's just like okay, like maybe just appreciate things that I didn't even
yes,
consider to appreciate or I took for granted. So like I definitely think that people going into their fifth year, going into their last year, will definitely benefit from hearing just like being appreciative of being at a HBCU and
mm-hmm.
accepting the acceptance they give you. So like, nah, I definitely think that'll be a hit for sure.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
so
yes.
our last question is presented by our sponsor, Cricket Wireless. So shout out to Cricket, a proud supporter of HBCU culture and community. How has going to an HBCU influenced the person you are today?
I would say I think, well, college is such an interesting time in your life, and it's such like a growing period. Like when you come when you're 18, you might come one way, and you leave when you're 23, depending on how long you're there. You're a completely different person,
Yeah,
regardless of where you are. So I think me being growing and going through the things of like growing up in that environment has taught me so much on like the outside world and really opened your eyes. Just to like what else is out there. So I would always advise people to get out if they can of their hometown. And then, like I said, in HBCU specifically, like it just shows you so much that you probably would not have known about unless you were there, unless you do some research or whatever the case may be. But I just do think it's changed my mindset, my confidence for sure has definitely
For
increased.
sure.
Definitely
Confidence is a whole different boost.
Yes, like I'm a complete, when I tell you coming in at 18, like I'm completely different than who I was. I'm different now than who I was when I got there. So
Yeah.
I just give them props for that and just creating, and props to my coaches too, but creating like a strong individual, a strong woman that is confident in what they can do. Has kind of just done what I've done, not on my own, but like you have this confidence, like you said, you have this confidence, like you can kind of handle anything. Like
Yeah.
we create at Alabama State and other HBCUs, like we create strong individuals. So you kind of have no other choice than to be like a boss when you leave. Like
No,
there's no
literally,
other
like you
option.
own everything.
Like yes, and like you can do anything. So I think it's awesome, and I'm so grateful for that place.
I love that. So thank you so much for joining me and sharing your experiences with us, Madison. Like, I've genuinely enjoyed this. It was just like a really mature conversation, a good breakdown of everything. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We've got a ton more great guests, and we'll continue talking about HBCUs from all angles. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more Echoes of the Yard. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.